Hello guys, welcome back to another Combat Media video, bringing you guys the latest in the combat world. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my post-fight review of Tony Harrison versus Jermell Charlo. The fight did happen tonight, and what a championship fight it was. To me, the whole card that was put on today was a great card. But let's get down to the main event. It ended with a knockout. Actually, all three fights that were actually shown ended with a knockout. So a very exciting card. I feel this was a great way to end off the year by PBC and Fox. And you know what? Tony Harrison and Jermell Charlo definitely came out to fight. Both of them really wanted to win this fight. And what a close fight it was. Very much like the first fight. It was extremely close. But this time the fight was more action-packed, a lot more exciting. Both guys were very, very active. And both guys were throwing a lot of punches. I think each guy threw about 500 punches. Only landed about 100, so neither guy was extremely accurate. I think Tony Harrison was definitely a little more accurate. Let me break this fight down for you guys real quick so we can kind of get to a round-by-round basis. And also, I want to find out how did you guys score it before the knockout. So rounds 1 and 2, I did give to Jermell Charlo. Charlo does score a knockdown in the second round, so he's already up pretty big. But then Tony Harrison just starts to fight really well. He starts to land to the body. He's throwing a great 1-2 combination, and he's getting off first. You know, it seems that Charlo was trying to either counter Harrison, which I thought was a really bad idea, because he would not throw unless Tony Harrison threw. And by the time that Charlo tried to counter, Harrison was already out of the way. So Harrison would throw a great 1-2, a very accurate 1-2, okay? And he'd land very clean, then he'd get out of the way. I think Charlo's adjustment to that was to start fighting on the inside, and that was pretty bad because I think Harrison was definitely anticipating that. And to me, Harrison was the better inside fighter. Yeah, you guys heard me correctly. Harrison was the better inside fighter. And it seemed like the knockdown just didn't affect him in the second round. Didn't really affect him, and he kept moving forward and fighting on the inside, and to me, outlanding Jermell Charlo. But because Charlo did get that knockdown, it still was a very close fight since he does have that extra point. So going into round 7, I did have it a draw. Okay, as we move on, I feel that Charlo definitely starts to slip back as Harrison starts to dictate the fight. I gave Charlo a couple rounds, again, because Charlo does have that extra point, and it is a close fight. But going into round 11, I only had Harrison up by 1 point, but still it's a close fight, so you never really know. I thought that Charlo towards rounds 9 and 10 actually was doing pretty good. I gave him those 2 rounds. So going into round 11 and round 12, it's really up to these final 2 rounds, in my opinion, that would decide the fight. And in round 11, Charlo bit down pretty hard, and he got the knockdown. I feel that Harrison was either gassed out a little bit, because you can start to see in each of the beginning rounds, I think from like round 8 and on, he'd start extremely, extremely slow, and then halfway through, he'd start to land the combinations that he's usually used to, and he'd pretty much catch back up and sometimes even steal the round. So I feel that those slow starts were very dangerous, and it happened again here in round 11 because he started very slow. Jermell Charlo was landing the combinations, and this time they just seem to affect Harrison a little more. Harrison gets wobbled, Charlo senses that, he starts throwing uppercuts, starts throwing variety of punches, which is great. Whenever someone's hurt, you always want to throw different kind of punches. You don't want to be throwing the same ones, and then the opponent's going to know the punches to look out for. So since he was throwing uppercuts and he was mixing it up, he did get Harrison down. Charlo actually went to celebrate, which is really funny. Someone told him to turn around because the fight was not over. As the ref did count Harrison, Harrison gets back up. But, you know, it seems like his feet are a little off. He's against the ropes. He's taking really heavy shots. And then the ref does stop the fight. Me, personally, I still thought that Harrison could have continued. Me, personally, just because I thought that, you know what, they made it this far. The round's almost over. There's about a minute left. I feel Harrison definitely could have made it out of that minute. But, you know, I'm not a referee. I wasn't inside the ring. I didn't see what maybe the ref did see. But nevertheless, it did seem that even if Harrison did continue, it looks like Charlo was going to head to that victory. Like I said, because it was a close fight, since Charlo now is getting all these extra points, it did seem that he was going to get the win tonight, and he did, and he got it by knockout. So what a way to come back, man. This was a big fight for not just Tony Harrison, but for Charlo as well. Just because Charlo felt that he won the first fight, I disagree with that. I did think that Tony Harrison did win the first fight, but, you know, he was coming for redemption. He wanted to prove the whole world wrong, that he was the guy that won that fight, and that he deserves to be holding that title and to be in the position that he's in right now. And Harrison, you know, he was trying to make sure that that didn't happen. Again, it was a close fight, and because of that power that Charlo has, I usually call the Charlo twins knockout artists just because they get so many fantastic knockouts. And because of the power that they both have, actually, he was able to pull it out and actually get the victory. So great fight. It was a great championship fight, and I'm being serious when I say that. It was just action-packed, and it was a great performance by both guys. Like I said, you can tell that both guys really wanted it. But nevertheless, it is what it is. I'm glad for Charlo. I hope he goes for Williams now, who is another 154-pound champion in his division. And maybe let's start unifying some belts. That would be really great for not just boxing, but for both guys' careers and for the division. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below on this fight. Did you guys see it? I might be posting highlights later, so look out for that. And what are your thoughts on the stoppage? Was it a good stoppage? Was it a bad stoppage? Also, how did you guys have it scored going into round 11? Apparently, the judges had Charlo up. I personally disagree with that. I thought Harrison was doing enough to win the rounds, but some of the rounds were close, so maybe fans had it a different way. So let me know down below, okay? If you guys are enjoying the content, please leave a like and subscribe, as it really does help the channel out. I do appreciate everybody's support, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.